It started innocently enough. A charity gala in the Swiss Alps, snow glittering like powdered diamonds outside a glass-domed palace nestled between jagged peaks, with Florence Pugh draped in velvet and poise, sipping something overpriced and effervescent while charming billionaires with her trademark smirk. But beneath the shimmer of wealth and the drone of string quartets tuned to perfection, she sensed it, a chill in the air that wasn't from the mountain wind, a stiffness in the smiles, a hunger behind the eyes of the ultra-rich that no amount of caviar or private islands could satisfy. And then, like a scene peeled from a conspiracy blog, a whispered invitation led her down a hidden spiral staircase masked behind a wine rack, past retinal scans and voice-activated walls, until she stumbled into a cathedral of the grotesque where suits unzipped into scales and laughter warped into guttural clicks as the most powerful men on Earth transformed into towering reptilian elites. There, ceremonial hoods slipping off to reveal cold, slit-pupilled stares, and for a split second, Florence stood frozen, her heart battering her ribs like a caged thing, her fingers trembling around her phone, not from fear exactly, but from the insane exhilaration of it all. Because the rumors were real, the internet weirdos were right, and she, Florence freaking Pugh, was now standing in the heart of a lizard cult live-tweeting every unholy detail with emojis and snark, her thumbs a blur as she posted, they just hissed in unison? Ritual starting? Send help or popcorn. Her mind whirled with the gravity of what she was witnessing, but instead of fleeing, something fierce and mischievous lit inside her. This wasn't just a story, it was the story, and she wasn't about to be a passive observer, not when the fate of public sanity and meme culture depended on her updates. Beside her, disguised in a waiter's tux with a hidden mic in his cuff, was Alfie, her longtime friend and rogue documentary filmmaker with a knack for disappearing into places he shouldn't be, equal parts skeptical and ride or die, muttering under his breath about the ethics of live-streaming demonic tax fraud lizards while simultaneously adjusting the zoom on his lapel cam, their banter both a lifeline and a shield against the rapidly escalating surrealism. Around them, the room pulsed with low, droning chants, candlelight flickering over obsidian altars, and a massive bronze door at the far end slowly grinding open to reveal something ancient, something coiled and waiting, while Florence swallowed her rising panic and squared her shoulders, fully aware she had crossed a threshold she could never uncross, but also knowing in her bones that the only way through this was to keep tweeting, keep smiling, and keep digging until she hit the scaly heart of this madness because the world deserved to know, and because, let's be honest, no one would ever believe it if she didn't document every bat's hit second. As the first adrenaline-fueled tweets faded into an eerie, creeping calm, Florence and Alfie found themselves grappling with the monumental weight of their discovery, the initial shock morphing into a chilling resolve as they realized that escaping the gala's gilded cage wouldn't mean freedom from the web of secrets they had just unraveled. Determined to peel back the layers of this reptilian conspiracy, they slipped through labyrinthine corridors where shadows danced with whispers of ancient power, their every step shadowed by the unsettling awareness that cameras hidden in every crevice might betray them at a moment's notice. Their quest for answers quickly revealed that this society was far more than a bizarre cult. It was a nexus of influence controlling the world's most critical levers, from economies to governments, its members weaving a dark tapestry of control that seemed impenetrable. Yet Florence's instinct and Alfie's guerrilla filmmaking experience fueled a relentless push forward, leading them to encrypted data vaults, secret passages lined with cryptic sigils, and clandestine meetings where they overheard chilling plans disguised as business jargon but hinting at global upheaval. But this was no mere physical challenge. Each revelation gnawed at their minds, forcing them to confront their deepest fears about power, trust, and the fragility of reality itself, especially as paranoia crept in, blurring the lines between ally and adversary, exemplified by the enigmatic figure known only as the Viper, a shadowy operative whose loyalties were as slippery as his namesake, appearing when least expected with cryptic warnings and offers of uneasy alliances, leaving Florence torn between skepticism and a desperate need for any advantage. The psychological toll was immense. Florence wrestled with the loneliness of bearing the truth, the ethical quagmire of exposing secrets that could ignite chaos, and the creeping fear that every tweet might hasten their doom. while Alfie battled his own demons, haunted by past failures and the pressure of capturing history without becoming history themselves. As the layers of deception peeled back to reveal more questions than answers, the duo found themselves entwined in a perilous game of cat and mouse, where each discovery was both a key and a trap, and the weight of the world's ignorance pressed down on their shoulders, making the path ahead a tightrope walk between revelation and annihilation, with the stakes climbing higher with every heartbeat and the shadows lengthening to hide dangers yet unseen, reminding them that the true depth of the lizard men's grip was still shrouded in darkness, and that their fight was just beginning. In the suffocating hush that settled over the sprawling underground lair, Florence and Alfie, battle-worn but unbroken, methodically gathered every shred of evidence, every hacked code, every clandestine audio snippet that could serve as their arsenal against the insidious billionaire. Lizard men whose true power now loomed fully revealed. A clandestine cabal led by the enigmatic sovereign serpent, a master manipulator whose cold, serpentine gaze belied a weakness buried deep within his insatiable hunger for control, an ancient code of honor and a fatal arrogance that made him underestimate the chaotic, unpredictable spirit of humanity. Physically, Florence reinforced their tech. Encrypted devices concealed in sleek wristbands, portable EMP emitters salvaged from security hubs, and makeshift smoke bombs crafted from stolen lab chemicals. While emotionally, she delved into a deep well of resolve, confronting the paralyzing fear that had shadowed every step with a fierce determination to expose the truth, no matter the cost, as Alfie, steady as ever, mapped out their infiltration routes and exit strategies with surgical precision, knowing that one misstep could spell their end. Together, they rehearsed the sequence of events like warriors before battle. Florence's live tweets serving not just as documentation but as a weapon to broadcast the society's secrets to the world in real time, while Alfie prepared to unleash a viral documentary bombshell that would shatter the lizard's veil of secrecy forever. The calm before the storm was electric, charged with the heavy gravity of choice. Should they confront the sovereign serpent directly in a high-stakes showdown within the temple's heart, risking total annihilation but with the potential to decapitate the cabals? Leadership, or opt for a surgical strike aimed at dismantling their communication networks and financial webs? A quieter, more calculated approach that could slowly erode the lizard's grip but left the kingpin alive? The air thickened with tension as they weighed these options, the fate of millions, and the fragile balance of truth and chaos, hanging by a thread woven from courage and desperation. Every glance exchanged between them spoke volumes of trust forged in fire and fear, their minds racing with contingency plans while the oppressive silence of the cavernous ritual hall outside echoed with the distant murmurs of the lizard elite preparing for the very ceremony that would cement their dominion. In this razor-edge moment, with the world unknowingly poised on the brink of upheaval, Florence and Alfie took their final breaths, steeling their nerves, sharpening their instincts, and committing to a path that would either dismantle the Shadow Empire or bury them beneath its scales forever. The culmination of their harrowing journey poised to ignite a revelation that could change the course of history or erase their existence from memory in the blink of an eye. The cavernous hall erupted in a storm of chaos and revelation as Florence and Alfie plunged into the heart of the lizard men's dark dominion, the air thick with the metallic scent of tension and the hiss of ancient power as the sovereign serpent revealed himself in all his chilling grandeur, scales shimmering with cold malice, and eyes burning with the hunger to dominate, their confrontation a fierce battle of wits and wills, where every word was a razor-sharp strike and every move a calculated gambit, with the fate of millions hanging on the knife edge of their decisions. Florence, her voice steady but her soul trembling with the weight of the world's ignorance, unleashed a torrent of truth through her live stream, broadcasting the grotesque ritual and the cabal's web of corruption to millions of stunned viewers, while Alfie maneuvered through the shadows to dismantle the labyrinthine communication systems that had cloaked the billionaire's sinister agenda in darkness for decades. But victory came at a staggering cost. Lysandra, their courageous hacker ally who had risked everything to penetrate the cabal's firewalls, was struck down in a brutal skirmish, her sacrifice a poignant reminder of the high price of truth. As the tide shifted, the sovereign's arrogance became his undoing, blinded by his own belief in his invincibility. He underestimated the raw, unpredictable power of human spirit embodied in Florence's defiant stand and Alfie's relentless drive, their combined efforts shattering the Cabal's grip and igniting a worldwide uprising against hidden powers. In the aftermath, Florence emerged forever transformed, not just a celebrity or a whistleblower, but a symbol of resilience and fearless transparency, bearing scars both visible and invisible. Her understanding of power, trust, and sacrifice deepened beyond measure, while Alfie's camera, still trembling in his hands, captured the fragile dawn of a new era where shadows retreated under the blinding light of collective awareness. The world would never be the same. Secrets spilled into the public consciousness ignited revolutions, reforms, and a re-examination of who truly held the reins of control. But with this awakening came the sobering realization that vigilance must be eternal and the battle for truth never-ending. Their journey had morphed from a reckless plunge into conspiracy to a profound odyssey of courage and change, one that etched their names into the annals of history and sparked a movement that transcended borders and species, reminding humanity that even in the darkest depths, a spark of defiance could ignite a blazing beacon of hope. So if you crave more tales that peel back the veils of reality and celebrate the indomitable human spirit, make sure to subscribe, because the adventure is far from over. And the truth is waiting just beyond the next horizon.